We are hopping in. You see the map unfolding. Sweaty actually losing a player. Only 5 people there now. You see Craggy still very hotly contested. Lazy hotly contested. Retail hotly contested. Can only assume the Shark is hotly contested as well. Too many henchman bodies there to really dive deep into it. But overall on the map, it's kind of the same thing we've been seeing time and time and again.
And I'm wondering, I'm seeing a couple arrows down at the rig. I believe that's where our current leader in the standings is in Wolfies. At the rig with possibly 2 others. What he did in week 2 was phenomenal. Pretty much never fighting at the rig. We are going to see, though, Retail Row, Benji Fishy. He did drop a couple of spaces in the last one. There are a number of different players here at Moraine. And I know Moki was still dropping here as of the first 2 games, but how does that change? Speaking of fighting at the rig, actually Wolfies takes out Kaiser to start things off in this game. So well done from him, and that's definitely going to extend that slight lead that he had over CRR, and everything counts at this point.
You just can't let it get to him to be aggressive, right? He gets that early elimination. If he says, you know what, okay, I got to heal him, that could be a little bit more aggressive. That could be detrimental there for Wolfies, but with the way he's playing game after game, I think he's going to keep it under wraps. I really like what Benji's doing here against the Swedes. He's just standing still. I think he's just waiting there to try to get a surprise. You see, baiting the chest out as well. And Swedes is going to fall for the trap here. He is looking cautiously around. We'll see if he does end up going into that shadow base. He is. Door is going to come through. Cone actually going to go through. He's blocking it off, but little does he know that Benji's right there. Shots coming on through. A lot of damage being taken from Benji's side, and he's going to go down.
What? Oh, I don't want to say... I don't know, you called it perfectly, Clay. That was definitely a bait idea from Benji there. Getting that chest audio makes it so that you're not going to be thinking about players nearby, but Swee's perfectly reading that. Not necessarily perfect, but at least expecting it. You saw the careful way he went into that doorway as the player's coming over the hill, so Benji takes a big hit. And honestly, that is scary. Meanwhile, though, at the grotto, Thomas is following through the actual trash right there, and it's going to pay off for him against Noword. So well done from him. A scary moment whenever you go into one of those, especially chasing down a player, but he must have known the HP situation, the material situation, and the loadout situation wasn't good on the other side for Noword. Thomas is somebody who was playing significantly well in these FNCS Invitationals to start things off, but in week 2 he fell a little bit down that ladder. One thing to note, though, is that this guy is playing so well in all of the different Cash Cups. He literally came, I believe, first yesterday in the Cash Cup. That was played while the reboot round was going on. So really nice for him. And he was also playing super well in that charity tournament that was going on with his duo partner. We are seeing now, switching perspectives a couple times in this game, Moki switching drop spots. She's all the way on the other side of the map from where you would expect her to be. And with 3 points, I think that she's looking for basically what Zeke was talking about, a moment of clarity to reach on in these next couple of games.
And this might be that for her. She does have much better loot than we've seen her come out of these POIs with before. She had an original plan to go to that gas station over there that she was dropping at during the prior rounds, but deciding to switch it up, go into Retail Road, did not work out for her, so she's going to Plan C. Plan C could work out. It's looking well as a Nas getting some nice shots there into Frenzy Fishy. Frenzy Fishy looking very, very bleak. Fuels were popped there, though. We'll have to see what a Nas is going to be able to do. Good piece control. The cone over the top is concerning there for a Nas, but nice wall on there. The stair, but the stair went the other way. Nice shot as well. Good continuous damage coming out of a Nas here. The question is, when is that shot going to come through? The cone actually going to get him. He is in it. Nice shot through. Very good awareness from a Nas, and Frenzy Fishy going to go down to that edit.
And with 34 points, Anas still keeps hope alive, at least in this game. And yes, he's going to emote on his opponent, make sure that he knows that Anas is the king of this hill on the side of the map. And I have to commend Anas for that fight. Everything looked so good. I mean, the first thing that he did in that was fantastic, was how he was staying close to the walls, making sure those angles from his opponents were very difficult to actually find any significant damage. And then after that, obviously getting the cone in there on top of him, and to break that floor instantly with his tac shotgun rather than trying to run up and pickaxe it will do very well for him. And we will see him now have to make a rotate on the side of the map, but looking at that map, it is on that end, so he doesn't have to go too far. He shouldn't spend time in the zone at all. He's just going to start to make his fishing route with that harpoon, possibly going to start to do what the BL guys love to do, the Become Legends team of Frey and us and different players like that. The floppers. Maestro, though, in a fight. Yes, he makes it count, Clay.
He does indeed, and that's against Swaggy there. There's another player coming in, though. He's got to be careful. The edit coming through, the confidence coming off Maestro here, but he's losing too much HP to be that confident. Stare with the top of the head is going to protect him for the time being, but these edits going to be very hard to hit if he doesn't get out of that window area, and he does. So now in a safe spot to pop the shields. Does have a medkit, but it's going to be way too hard for him to get it off. He's going to commit. I think the metal that he built, they're going to protect him just a little bit. Drobin, not able to find out exactly where Maestro went. This is going to reset the fight a little bit.
Reset for the time being. Maestro still stuck, though, in this wall. He really has no other room to indicate exactly where he is, even though there's a sound cue for the shield potion. Still want to be able to track that another participant entering the fray. It's Dexy, and things could get really, really sticky. Things could get really, really confusing. But what I'm seeing, the tendencies out of these players right now is that none of them actually want to fight. They're actually just using this house, this gas station, as a position where they'll maybe find some Storm Surge tags if necessary, but also just wait out this first zone.
And you see Dan doing it nearby as well. This is going to be the theme right now. If you're in this middle of zone, if you're in the spots where there's nothing happening, you don't want to take those boxes, especially those players right there. I did not see many of them near the top of the leaderboard, so they're getting a little bit nervous. They're like, it's getting to them, right? It's building up. The pressure is there as we swap over Amplify. 51 points, does have the heavy sniper looking for that snipe. He knows there's somebody over there. He is going to see the player. I believe that may have been a grapple coming on out there from that player. We'll see if he's going to be hit it. And again, these are the impact plays we talked about with Zeke pre-show, right? We talked about how these players need to find that moment, find that catalyst, and this heavy snipe could be it.
There's a brief moment of opportunity, but Amplify not in his position where he could actually take that shot. Unfortunately, the other player now sees where he's at. And I think that tag is going to be all she wrote for this one. I think Amplify, although zone stays close, yeah, he is going to back down over this hill and make sure there's no time for other players to hold him here in this position. He wants to make sure he can get somewhere good for this next zone. And as you can see, again, we kind of shift gears. Game 3 was very aggressive, Clay. Game 4 here, maybe players are playing a little bit looser than Game 1 and Game 2, but they're definitely going for these tags, but backing up and playing for the end game because they know that's what counts. Wolfie's lurking up on Mongol. This is a big one. Starts it off with a nice tag. He's got the heavy sniper too. But he's not actually going to use that. They're both going to back off over towards the house. This is what I'm talking about. Wolfie's making another smart play. Again, disengaging from a fight. This is not something you would have seen Wolfie's after his World Cup performance. The confidence he had. He would have been pushing every person like CRR much would have done. And in duos, it was the same way too with Lecce and Wolfie's. Pushing every fight and not necessarily disengaging for moments like this. But this is key for Wolfie's. And one of the reasons I think not only are we seeing him at the top right now, but we might be seeing him at the top after these 2 days of Grand Finals.
That was very, very smart. And I'm very surprised that Wolfie's had the discipline there to realize, hey, I got the tag. I don't need to go in. But now it's going to be in a bad situation as Noah Riley continuing to pressure. He got the early tags on the Wolfies. Wolfies did have to try to heal up, as we do see in the feed. A big elimination. Aqua taking down Mitro. Very big for the entire lobby, as well as Nate going down there to Queasy. Big names falling in this game, and we're having a fight between two of big names as well. We've got Noah versus Wolfies. As Wolfies, again, he's going to find a way to disengage.
Noah, briefly for a moment there, looked like he wanted to follow. It still looks like he wants to follow off of that ridge. Wolfie's knows, and he bases up in a position that gives him the opportunity for shots like this. Misses that one, but huge, because if he can find any of these tags, it's going to scare people away from his position, give him the path he needs to rotate. It's going to be slightly difficult because he has to go across the central lake of the agency. And sometimes that can cause trouble for you. There's the Gem players still lurking. We're looking at another fight here at 7 Tor. Yeah, so I'm not sure who's up above him, but he's on the back foot. And right now with the 85 builds, he is going to try to make a low ground peak, but it's not going to work. Stairs in his box now. He has to back off to the other side. And so far, no damage found from Seventor, but great control for him. Oh, never mind. The attack shot range 2 from range by Mini. And I'm wondering whether Mini really needed some surge. Clearly had no heals. So maybe he just was holding on to a, glimmer of hope in the fact that he might be able to beam Seventor down and get the Siphon in his heals. But no, it doesn't work. Mini down and out.
Very smart play from Seventor to back out of there, go down the mountain, put the natural cover layers there. In between them, very, very good plays. We swap over here to Blackie. You see 75 players. This is the most we've had in these games today. It's getting stacked and stacked and stacked. Players are not risking their early game, their mid game anymore. And I think the trend is going to continue. You see Blackie, who 87 builds, does need to find an elimination to get that in-game mat count up. But he's sitting, he's waiting, he's moving around, he's trying to get any information that he can. And this is a little bit different from what we've been seeing out of EU. That aggression, for a lot of players, not there.
I think whether the Elim is 4 points or not, these guys realize that the best position to put yourself in is to maximize your point potential. A key theme that I've been talking about forever, even back towards the first Winter Royale. That means that getting towards endgame and finding eliminations in endgame are so much more meaningful than anything in the mid-game. Blackie, though, on to Snappy. Snappy's going to be playing aggressively, possibly below that surge, and already starting off for the big 100, and Snappy pays for it in huge regards, because that's another game where he's not going to be able to maximize his potential. Wolfie's also in the feed. That's now up to 2 elims for him. And already a competitor who was in third before this game, Snappy down and out. Here it is, Wolfie is where he was, the position he moved even closer, actually, over towards Risky Reels. So definitely some good stuff, but he's actually still right next to where Mongrel was, so this engagement could go to full. And don't forget that they were Squad's teammates. They play second in Squads, for people who wonder where Mongrel's been. He's been around, just not necessarily streaming as much. Still such a solid player. Wolfies has this player very low. He's going to follow this up.
And this is where the aggression from Wolfies that we have not been seeing is going to come into play. He's being very smart about his engagement as he's taking a lot of damage. So he is going to go in. 4Z are going to go down, and the beam set that up perfectly. 3 eliminations. He's continuing to mount his lead here. We'll see, though, if he's able to hold it. This aggression, right, is coming in. We did not see these in the first couple games. He played strictly placement. He played to get that lead. Now that he has it, now that he's continuing this aggression, shots coming through, another player going to come through. He's going to find Fadil just trying to get into the loot or something, but Wolfie's playing really well today.
Oh, no. This is not what I want to see if I'm any other player here in this EU lobby. I do not want to see Wolfies with back-to-back eliminations in the feed, making things work, because if he starts heating up and he's also playing smart and controlled, though we saw a glimpse of the old Wolfies in this case, that is a scary sight. He might already be starting to mount a response to what CRR did in the last game, the 10 eliminations. Wolfie's now up to 4 before even this third zone closes, and before we even get close to where the end game is.
And the question is, how is CRR in this game? Where is he? Eliminations-wise, we haven't seen much of him in the feed. Is he mounting a performance like Wolfie? Is this a dual performance that we can see happen? Because right now, if this goes unanswered, if no one is able to mount a performance like this, Wolfie's going to be in a very good spot, as we see Mongrel falling to Tiago there on rotation. A big elim there for him.
I think that's actually the second time we've seen Tiago take out Mongrel, so maybe he needs to make an adjustment on the way he rotates next to Tiago. I did see also Queasy go down, who was still sitting in 6th place after that third game. So that's a big name too. Wolfie's another one. On to Noah. Things are starting to mount. My goodness, is he finding... He just barely got his way in the zone, and he already finds a big one. Again, Noah's such a strong player. They had that brief engagement on the side of that when he was back over on the other side of the agency. And he follows it all up, and he gets that Elim, here's the third zone. Here's the fourth zone, actually, I should say, where it's revealed. It's actually going on that mountain down in the southeast of the map. I believe we're actually going to be looking to players near that. Moki, remember, she was dropping over to Salty Springs. Yes, she's on that south side. Pretty distant rotate to go. And we're not seeing players move at all, which is scary. Moki gets a good crack to start things off. Another one to 27. She actually might make it work, and she does. Yes, Moki survives the onslaught from Pink with that burst AR. And she's going to be moving forward now, happy that she's still alive in this game. Gets another elimination in the books. And possibly now going to find another one, the player in this box. Looking to see if there can be some spoils here for Moki.
Very good tracking there for her inside the box, able to find the player through the stair. Nice build down as well. She's losing HP. Effectively, she's not going to have much to heal it up. The ramp boost was set up. She needs to get out and away, and she does with the continued pressure here. She's running out of hard match. She's in the box, but the stair actually going to protect her for the time being. Moki, 31 HP. I don't think she's going to be able to get out of it, as Kylie going to take Moki down. A very good play to keep the pressure up.
Yeah, but that fight in general was just so difficult. I mean, you see basically this entire section, which had so many people right next to them, completely vacated, gone. There's nobody here. Kylie opts to take that fight, and he's going to pay for it because he's not going to survive the next couple of moments here. Aqua also holding somebody else on the north side of this. A big storm fight unfolding on the Frenzy Farm side. That could be where Wolfies was, and he did pick up another elimination. So potential now for Wolfies to be in a big storm fight. That's scary for him because, yes, he got points. Yes, he got himself pushed up in the lead, but definitely not in that placement form. And that's the kind of thing, as Aqua does pick up Tiago, that was where Wolfies was, right next to Tiago. So nervous now for Wolfies because he might be getting a little too loosey-goosey, too aggressive from what he was in the first 3 games.
And I think that was set up by that early elimination, by somebody landing on him. They've challenged him. His rig is at stake. He's able to defend that. And now he's like, okay, I can push this aggression into mid, into late game. We'll see. We'll keep our eyes on that elimination if he's going to be able to do something. Aqua, though, with Sky's loadout. First time we'll be able to see him go to work. He was another player starting to break up into that top 20, into that top 30. Can't remember exactly what place he was on, but this is a player we all know we cannot count Aqua out this early on in the tournament.
And it was a rough run for the Invitational for him so far. I mean, barely made it into this stage in week 2 and had a middling performance in week 1. Wolfies is alive still, and he's still W King. He's got heals as well. A flopper, if he really needs to make this work, he's going to dip into Storm a little bit. And yes, this is an ingenious rotate, but he does not stop there. Oh my goodness, Wolfies finds Fant to try to make a crazy rotate. And now he's a little bit in trouble because zone moving. There's players down below him, but he layers right up. He's going to be able to tunnel his way in, but only 11 builds, Clay.
That is not where we would expect him to see. We talked about how great he was playing placement-wise, and now going to go down. This is shades of Wolfies. We did not see it all today, going down so early, not playing for placement, got way too aggressive. We're going to have to see how he comes back to it.
And I did see, as we hop on board with Scully, I saw Milan, who was in 4th place before this game, and I also saw Andalex in 7th. CRR was in 2nd. They're all grouped up at the bottom of this hill, so Scully has an opportunity to have huge impacts on the leaderboards at the end of the day. Wolfie's clearly pushed his way up. Even Janice is in here, who was in 5th, so many players still alive at this stage of the game, though. What can Scully offer? Because on 40 points, he's still possibly in the pack, in the running for this, as he picks up Teak and Alex also on the MXR.
And Scully, this is the game that can start to ramp him up. If Scully gets going, if Scully gets that momentum in his hands, he is so good at keeping it and rolling with it. We'll see if he's going to get it. 3 eliminations. Zone is pulling away from him, though. He does have a launch pad. He is near the low ground, though, so he can easily recycle one as he's looking for eliminations. He is going to find shots. He is going to get elimination there onto Nas as the launch pad was used. He's going to go ahead and just try to beam this player out of the air. Unfortunately, not able to find it. Has to use his own launch pad. But a very good play there to look for those eliminations to continue to keep him moving up the point threshold.
And this is key for Scully, somebody who had a legendary run through the DreamHack Open qualifiers, but did not make it all the way through with the semifinals. Same kind of story in FNCS duos for him. But when he makes it to the grand finals, he does so well. Definitely was a story that we followed all the way through the duo portion because they clutched up multiple times and then made it really work for them in the grand final. Scully now starting things off with a nice pick-off. Now layering up Moraine in this, Mr. Savage in this, two grand final winners of DreamHack. The solo competitions, Thomas HD, who we started at the beginning of this game, started off so strong. Andelec still alive in this game. Aqua as well, Airwax. So many big names. Who is that on height, though? I can't quite see. It's Janice, yes.
And you talked about him having that potential to win the game on high ground. The issue for him is the players grappling, launch padding on up. Andelec getting very close to high ground. Has got to be careful about that. His HP is very, very low. You see Aqua just sitting there waiting in the middle while Scully's looking to launch pad here. He looks like he could go for high ground, but quickly avoids it. Does not have the build or the HP to really challenge it. But you know Scully's not afraid to do that. Gonna get a nice mid-ground tarp here for him. Does get the chance to pop the flopper as well. This is good for Scully, but what is concerning is his 6 builds remaining. His Aqua is now on the high ground.
Surprise, surprise, it's Aqua again. The story that we always see is, where is Aqua? When it comes to grand finals, when we look at 7th zone, he's always here in this spot on height. Again, Aqua with Sky's AR, with the grappler too. 3 eliminations as well. He's definitely starting to roll, and I don't think he loses games from this position, Clay. I think that this is the chance for Aqua to possibly catch up to Wolfies up at the top of the leaderboard.
It definitely is, whether it's the Sky's AR, Brutus's minigun, it does not matter here for Aqua. He has got the high ground, and you know he knows what to do with it. Taking down Amplify, eliminations rolling in, going over old builds. This is set up perfect for Aqua as Mr. Savage goes down to Thomas HD. Aqua doesn't need high ground. He says, you know what, I'm going to go down for some mats. Player was right nearby, but he's got to be careful about giving it up. He says, you know what, I've got a grappler.
He gets another one too. Yes, that's Lizen. Perfect play from Aqua. Yes, he doesn't have the mats. He didn't find it. Might find some now. Yes, and the drum gun too, but Op's not even to take it. He doesn't need it because with what he has, a couple still builds remaining, but also the grappler, and with old builds in the way, possibly even going to take over towards that. Thomas HD just goes, no, he's still up. Scully also getting beamed from high ground. Jan is still up in this game too. What is going on? Yes, another one for Aqua. Top 3 now.
Aqua getting everyone. Scully in the game, though, it doesn't even matter. It seems like Aqua is running away with this. The points are what he needs. He needs to keep going with it. 87 points. So many up for grabs here. The Victory Royale. 2 more elimination shots coming through here momentarily. This player trying to challenge for high ground, but I don't think they know who it is. Shots coming through. Janice going down. It's Scully. It's Aqua for the Victory Royale. Aqua dropping down. A lot of damage taken. A lot of damage down. Aqua, though, with the shotgun shot could have put it back in his favor, and he does. 8 eliminations. A Victory Royale there for Aqua.
GG. Aqua takes it. 8 eliminations will skyrocket him up to 106 points. And in those final moments, it looked like potential Aqua might have lost that with the way that the game was playing for him. Low material